Hello guys, welcome to this new video. In today's video we will compare the Nord Orbit against the Cabrinha Nitro. I'm going to check these kites on the following aspects, which are the weight, the visual differences and the overall construction of the kite. After that we will fly the kites back to back. Of course both of the kites are high performance big air kites, so we will mainly check out the performance in the higher winds.
Kitemana, your online kite store.
On the first side, the kites may do look the same, but there are some differences which we're going to show to you now. So first we check the weight of both of the kites. The backs are the same weight, which is 1 kilo, and surprisingly both kites are the same weight, 3.2 kilograms. So the first thing that we noticed on the Cabrinha Nitro versus the Nord Orbit was the panel layout of the Cabrinha Nitro. The Cabrinha Nitro has a more panel layout, which means a rounder kite, instead of the Nord Orbit, which has less panels, which means the kite could be a little bit more square. So the second thing that we noticed was the EVA Battens. The Cabrinha Nitro has 4 EVA Battens and the Nord Orbit has 2. Probably the Cabrinha Nitro has 4 EVA Battens because of the reduced flutter on the kite, so it doesn't flutter that much. So one more difference in terms of the trailing edge, not only the EVA Battens but also the trailing edge on both of the kites are different. The Orbit has double-sided ripstop in comparison to the Nitro, which has single-lined ripstop. The differences in Dacron: the Orbit uses Endure Dacron and the Cabrinha Nitro uses Ultra HD Dacron. Nitro is the only kite in the Cabrinha lineup which uses this kind of Dacron, which is extremely stiff. The third thing that we noticed was the wingtip on the Nord Orbit, which is a little bit more squared up to above, and on the Cabrinha Nitro it seems that the wingtip is a little bit more flattened off, so a little bit more down. And to continue with the difference on the wingtip, the Orbit has 4 adjustment points instead of the Nitro, which has 2. So we'll wait for the perfect day to test these kites out to see if they perform the same or not. So stay tuned. So yesterday we tested both of the kites in 25 to 28 knots and we're gonna tell us our opinion on both of the kites. In comparison to the Nitro, the Orbit has more steering pressure, which makes the Orbit less forgiving. So both of the 10 meters are pretty quick in kite loops. The only thing that we can say is that the loop is a little bit different in terms of the delay when you pull on the bar. So the Nitro has a little bit more delay in comparison to the Orbit. So the down loop and second lift are pretty good on both of the kites. I had a better second lift and hang time on the Nitro in comparison to the Orbit, which causes a little bit more soft landings. With down looping the Orbit, I had more feedback when the kite was behind me, but the landing was slightly harder. When the wind picked up a little bit at the end of the session, I could easily keep handling the kite good and could hold my edge perfectly, and also the shape stayed the same way, which is pretty good also when the wind picks up and you have a bigger size in your hands. In my opinion, the Orbit is more reactive on the bar in comparison to the Nitro, which I do both like. On the Nitro you have a little bit more space to, for example, do a kite loop board off before the kite comes around, and with the Orbit we have to time that a little bit different. For the Cabrinha Nitro you have a different depower management. When your bar is fully sheeted out you do have a lot of depower, and when you pull the bar towards you, you do have the power that a 10 meter could create. So I would say if you have one kite, your wind range will probably be bigger with a 10 meter Nitro in comparison to a 10 meter Orbit. The Cabrinha Nitro is perfect for a lot of riders, not pure big air riders, but also people who are seeking for a little bit more performance. So who like the DNA, for example, from the Switchblade, which is a little bit coming back in the Nitro, but more on the big air performance, of course. To round things up, the differences on the Orbit and the Nitro are marginal and may look bigger in the video than they truly are when riding both of the kites. We really try to zoom in on the differences to make a good comparison video, which is understandable for all kiters. So both of the kites are extremely good in the discipline that they are designed for, big air and high performance freeride. So thank you guys for watching this comparison video. We enjoyed it a lot to make this comparison video, and we'll make one soon again. So stay tuned for the next one, and we'll see you on the next video. Ciao!